You're not ignored because you're weak. You're ignored because you're predictable. You can be the kindest person in the room. You can be patient. You can wait your turn. None of it earns real respect. Real respect goes to the people who don't need it. That's the paradox. The moment you stop chasing respect, you start receiving it. The moment you stop performing for approval, people start paying attention. This isn't about dominance. It isn't about being aggressive. It isn't about winning every interaction. It's about becoming someone whose presence has weight, someone other people calibrate around, without you ever asking them to. In the next 15 minutes, I'm going to give you 4 behaviors. They're simple. They take time to master. Each one strips away something most people do without thinking. What's left is who you actually are. Do these and you won't have to demand respect ever again. You'll have built something better, the kind of self-possession that can't be shaken by what's happening around you. Hold the frame. Every conversation has a frame, a pace, a tone, an emotional temperature. Whoever sets the frame controls the conversation. Most people don't set the frame. They accept it. Someone walks in tense, they get tense. Someone speaks fast, they speed up. Someone challenges them, they get defensive. Within seconds, they've handed over control. They don't even know how they did it. Holding the frame doesn't mean dominating. It means refusing to be moved. Someone rushes you. You slow down. Someone raises their voice. You drop yours. Someone tries to provoke you. You stay still. You're not matching their energy. You're not absorbing it. You're not fighting it. You're replacing it with your own. This starts with one skill. The pause. When someone speaks, don't respond immediately. Take a breath, look at them, then speak. That pause is not hesitation, it's authorship. It tells the other person, without a word, that the rhythm of this conversation belongs to you. Your body has to back it up. Steady eye contact, not a stare. Relaxed shoulders, not slumped. Slow, deliberate movements. People read these signals before they hear a word of what you say. If your body is reactive, nothing you say will land. Hold the frame long enough and people start adjusting to you. They slow down. They lower their voice. They become more careful with their words. Not because you demanded it, because you set a standard and they followed. This is the foundation. Everything else in this video sits on top of it. If you learn only one thing, learn this one. Set limits without explaining. The moment you explain a boundary, you weaken it. Most people don't know this. They've been taught that saying no is rude unless you justify it. So they add reasons, they soften the delivery. They make sure the other person understands and agrees. Every word of explanation is an invitation to negotiate. A limit is not a request. It's not a position that you're defending in a debate. It's a description of how you operate. The right way to deliver is short, calm, and final. I'm not available for that. That doesn't work for me. No. That's it. No story. No apology. No softening at the end. The discomfort you feel when you don't explain is the point. You feel it because you've been conditioned to manage other people's reactions your entire life. That conditioning has cost you years. You've absorbed pressure that wasn't yours. You've made decisions to keep people comfortable who never returned the favor. When you state a limit and stop talking, you'll often get silence. Hold it. The other person will want to fill it because the discomfort is unbearable to them. Don't help them. The silence is doing the work. If they push back, repeat yourself. Same words, same tone, no new information. Repetition without escalation is one of the most important tools you have. Most people give up the second or the third time because there's nothing to push against it. Some people will react badly. They'll call you difficult, cold, selfish. Those labels are information, not verdicts. They tell you which people benefited from you not having limits before. Their discomfort is the price of your standard. Over time, you stop needing to defend your limits. People learn what you allow. The quietest in any room are usually the ones with the firmest lines. Stay neutral under pressure. Pressure is the test. Anyone can stay calm in calm conditions. The real question is who you become when someone raises their voice, challenges your authority, or tries to provoke you. Most people collapse the gap between feeling and reacting. Frustration arrives. They express it. Anxiety arrives. They rush. Challenge arrives. They defend. The trigger and the response are stitched together with no space between them. That instant reaction is what gives other people leverage over you. You become predictable. They learn how to move you. And once they know that, they own the interaction. Neutrality is not suppression. You're not pretending you don't feel anything. You feel everything. You just don't let those feelings drive the interaction. The skill is creating space between the trigger and the response. There's a window. Most people don't know the window exists. Once you find it, even briefly, the entire dynamic changes. 3 things happen in that window. 1, you breathe slower. 1 full breath. In through the nose, slowly exhale. Your body stops escalating. Your voice stays low. Your mind clears. 2, you separate the situation from your identity. Someone criticizing you isn't an attack on who you are. It's information about who they are. 3, you choose your tone before you choose your words. Calm and even, regardless of what they're doing. The effect on the other person is immediate. They came in hot, expecting you to pull in. You didn't come. Now they either calm down to meet you, or they start escalating alone and start to look unstable doing it. Either way, the interaction is yours. This isn't a performance. It can't be faked for long. It comes from doing the deeper work. Knowing who you are. Knowing what you stand for. Knowing what you'll accept. When that's inside you, nothing outside you can shake it. Walk away from disrespect. The moment you argue with disrespect, you've accepted it. Most people don't understand this. When someone crosses a line, the instinct is to correct them, defend yourself, explain what they did was wrong. Every second you spend doing that, you're teaching them that their behavior gets your attention. You're rewarding the exact thing you want to stop. Walking away is the only response that doesn't reward it. This isn't about dramatic exits. It isn't about giving somebody the silent treatment to punish them. It's about a quiet, simple decision. This interaction no longer meets my standard. I'm not participating in it. You don't need to announce your departure. You don't need a final line. You don't need to win the exchange. The win is the exit. The hard part is timing. You have to disengage immediately. Not after one more sentence. Not after one more attempt to set them straight. The longer you stay after the line is crossed, the more you normalize what happened. Some people will test this. They'll cross the line, see you walk, and try harder next time to pull you back in. Your job is to be consistent. Same response every time. Disrespect ends the interaction. No exceptions. Over months and years, this rewires every relationship in your life. Some people will adjust their behavior because they value access to you. Some won't, and they'll quietly disappear. Both outcomes are correct. You won't have to teach this to anyone. Your behavior will teach it. These 4 behaviors are not tactics. They're not tricks to manipulate how people see you. They're the natural behavior of someone who has done the inner work. Someone who knows what they stand for. Someone who doesn't need approval of the room to feel like themselves. If you try to perform these without doing the work underneath, people will sense it. The behavior won't hold under pressure. You revert to old patterns the moment someone pushes hard enough. The work is internal. The behavior is external. The order matters. Most people get this backward. They try to change how they act, hoping it'll change how they feel inside. This rarely works. The path that works is the harder one. Build the inside first. The outside flows on its own. You don't become unshakable by practice being unshakable. You become unshakable by becoming someone with something to stand on. That something is your values, your standards, your sense of what you will and will not accept. Without those, you'll keep being pulled into other people's frames for the rest of your life. With them, you can't be moved. Start small. One conversation today. One moment where you would normally react, and you don't. One limit you would normally explain, and you don't. One disrespect you would normally tolerate, and you walk. Build it, one rep at a time. The respect you've been chasing your whole life will start arriving on its own. Not because you demanded it, but because you finally stopped needing it. If you got value out of this video, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this. I'll see you in the next one.